Welcome to WOW TV. My name is Angel, and I'm here from the Wizards of Wright program. The WOW program is part of the Educational Outreach Office here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Today we're going to learn a little about electricity and circuitry, and then we're going to talk about robots. Are you ready to get started? Let's go! Let's take a few minutes and talk about electricity. First, we want to know what electricity is. Electricity is a form of energy that makes things work. It cooks our food, keeps us warm, gives us light, and it even charges our phones. Now we need to have an idea of where electricity comes from. Well, everything around us is made of atoms. The sun, the grass, our desks, our shoes, rocks, people. Everything has atoms. Atoms are tiny particles that we can't see without a very strong microscope. Atoms are made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. And when those electrons start moving around, we get electricity. Let's pause for a minute while your class comes up with a list of things that you use that need electricity. I'll wait while you discuss it. Now that you've listed many of the things you use electricity for, let's talk about how electricity gets to our equipment to power it up. When those electrons start moving, they follow a path. We call that a circuit. Let me give you an example. When you enter a dark room, you flip the light switch on. This causes the electrons to flow, and as they move through the path of connecting wires, they complete the circuit, making the light bulbs glow. This is electricity. Here's a really important question for you. Is electricity dangerous? It definitely can be. Let's go over some very important rules. Don't stick anything into a wall outlet except the appropriate plug. Never put electronic items into the water or close enough that it could fall into the water, especially if it's plugged in. Don't stack anything on top of your wires. If wires get damaged, they could start a fire. Don't plug too many things into the wall outlet or an extension cord. And when unplugging something, don't pull from the cord, use the plug. Don't fly drones or kites or even climb trees near power lines. And when you're not sure, always ask an adult for guidance. Now, let's do an activity that has you acting like an electrical circuit. I'm going to pause for just a moment while your teacher has 4 or 5 volunteers make a small circle at the front of the room. Okay, are we ready? The circle is our circuit. Imagine yourselves as the wire in our circuit. Each of you now needs one wooden block. These wooden blocks are the electron inside a wire. You need to pass your electron to the student on your right. You can only have one electron at a time so we can keep the flow moving. When you receive an electron, you must pass the electron you are already holding. Everyone keeps passing electrons one at a time to the right. This is an example of an electrical current. Let's pause for a few minutes and let you try this. Maybe your teacher will try this with a few groups. How was your circuit? Did the electrons flow? You were showing an example of a closed circuit. Your circle stayed intact and the electrons continued to flow. There's also something called an open circuit or broken circuit. Imagine that you spread out so far in your circle you couldn't reach each other to pass the electrons. The current would stop. The gaps would be too wide, too open to keep flowing. Now, let's talk about robots. A robot is a machine that can perform different tasks on command or according to instructions programmed in advance. You actually come in contact with robotic machines pretty often. Did you know that these things are robotic? Automatic car washes, vending machines, when you walk up to the grocery store door and it automatically opens, remote control cars, ATMs at the bank. If you could have a robotic machine at home, think about some things you'd like your robot to do for you. Would you have your robot do your homework? Make your bed? Do the dishes? How would your family feel about that? Have you ever heard of Cubelets? Cubelets are small, color-coded cubes that people magnetically stick together to build simple robots. Different cubes do different things. This is a sensor. There are cubelets that sense distance and brightness, and one with a knob for adjustments. This is an action cube. There are cubelets that rotate, drive, give off noise or light, and one with a bar graph. Teachers will pause here while you give each group of 3 or 4 students a box of cubelets. Give them a few minutes to look at them, feel them, and notice any similarities or differences. They don't need the battery cube yet. Now that you're a little familiar with the cubelets, let's make a robot with just 3 cubelets. Take out the brightness cube. It looks like this. It's a black cube. It's one that senses. Now, take out the flashlight cube. It looks like this. It's a clear cube, one that acts. Let's put the rest back in the box for right now. Teachers, if you could make sure they have just these 2 specific cubes out, that would be great. Every robot, like every electrical circuit, needs power. You will need the battery cublet. It has a switch to turn the power on and off. This is a battery cublet. Let me show you the on-off switch. See how the green light comes on when the battery is operating? As your teacher gives you a battery, see what your team can discover by using just the 3 cubelets you have out. I'll give you a few minutes to test these and experiment with different ways you can make your robot behave by rearranging just these 3 blocks. Try to make the light shine brighter and then go dimmer. Did you try the cubelets in different orders? Did you get different results? Please put the brightness cube back in the box and take out this cube. I'm not going to tell you what it does yet. Try it out. What do you think this robot is sensing? Now, put the flashlight cube back in the box and take out the drive cublet. Teachers, can you make sure they only have these 2 cubelets out of the box? I'll give you a few minutes now to test these and experiment with different ways you can make your robot behave by rearranging just these blocks. You should only have the battery, the distance, and the drive cube. Here's what I want you to test. Can you use the distance sense to control the drive action and make it go fast and slow? Does the order of the cubes change how it works? Can you drive it across the floor? Be careful not to drive it across the desk. It could fall and hit the floor. Did you get those to work? Here's a challenge for you. Using only the 3 cubelets you have out, the distance, the drive, and the battery, and building by only keeping the cubelets in a line, how many different robots can you make? As you're working on your challenge, think about this. What happens if I change the order of the cubelets? What happens if I change the direction or position of a cublet? After your group has built as many as you can, keeping them in a straight line, then see how many more driving robots you can make if you build without a straight line. I'll give you time to do this now, and I'll see you back here in a bit. Great job! Let's try a few more challenges before we're finished today. Teachers, they should have everything they need, but I may have included a box of extra cubes if necessary. You're going to need 3 cubelets again: the battery, the distance, and the flashlight. Can you put them together like this? Then try it. What can you use this robot for? Let's put these three cubelets together: the battery, the speaker, and the knob. Now try it. What can you use this robot for? Let's make one more. Use whichever sense cube you'd like: the knob, the brightness, or the distance. You also need 2 drive cubes. Can you make this work? Like a conveyor belt? Where would you see a robotic machine like this? Great job! I'll wait while you do the following things. Turn the batteries off, return the batteries to your teacher, and put the cubelets back in the box and match the picture on the box. You all did a great job today. Here are a few things I hope you remember after today. Electricity moves through a circuit. Circuits can be open or closed. Robots sense and act. And when you control what a robot senses, you can control how that robot acts. Teachers, thanks so much for using this WOW lesson, and please check out more at our website at wpafbstem.com.